Hello and welcome to Afternoon Tea with Karen. Now, a few days ago, I went on to Twitter X and I saw this and thought, wonder how men are going to feel about it.
Victoria appoints parliamentary secretary for men's behaviour change. Well, come one, come all, into 1984. The role will earn nearly $245,000 a year. We're really doing this, aren't we? We're really taking that next step towards the Orwellian nightmare. Victorian Labor Premier Jacinta Allen has announced a new state overseer for men's behaviour change in Australia's second most populous state. You're paying for this, by the way, Victorians. Have you seen how much you guys are in debt at the moment? You cool with this? The position will look into the role of social media and the internet and how it influences the behaviour of young men and boys. The role of parliamentary secretary is a promotion from a regular member of parliament and sits just beneath cabinet ministers. The role of social media and internet and how it influences the behaviour of young men and boys. See, I can remember going back just a couple of years. There was a man who came out and he had a real positive message for men and for boys. And that message was basically lift the heaviest thing that you can find, clean up your room, be a strong man. And what was the response from the people who are cheering this on? Well, it was to demonize him and to throw him out of polite society at any cost. And then we saw the rise of Andrew Tate.
Up yours, woke moralists. You sons of bitches.
In Victoria, a parliamentary secretary earns nearly $244,991, which includes a base salary of $198,839 plus all that extra there. This salary is based on a determination on July. I've actually gone through this before to point out how much we are paying our politicians, and it's gross. Premier Allen said state member for Mordialloc, Tim Richardson, would become the first overseer of men's behaviour change as part of an overhaul of secretary responsibilities on May 28th. She said the promotion would continue the government's priority to make Victoria safer for women and children and also to end the number of deaths of Victorian women at the hands of men. I've got a crazy idea. It is crazy. Go with me here. Allow women to defend themselves. See, I am on the extreme end that they should have access to a firearm, but that sends our country into a headspin. Oh, we can't have a firearm. No. Even though we saw the perfect example of a woman defending herself from a knife-wielding lunatic male, which eliminated a threat, and everyone praised her. But they can't see the connection that maybe I should be able to do that. Should that happen to me? No, see, at the moment, the best that we can get an argument for is pepper spray.
Sorry, excuse me. Now, we know I like target shooting, but if women are carrying firearms, so is everyone else. And in an escalating domestic violence situation, having a firearm in the household is not a good idea. Now, if you've got a cigarette lighter in your bag with your aerosol can, you can make a flamethrower. Another good thing to put in your bag is a billiard ball in a sock. Oh, hang on, I'm going off track. Let's get back to him.
This is the first position of its kind in Australia, and it will focus largely on the influence the internet and social media have on boys' and men's attitudes towards women and building respectful relationships. Well, I'll just go back to my previous point. You had the internet's dad who came out and he scolded what you would refer to as the incel community. He told them off. And then he told the lost boys, is the best way that I can put it, how to be a better man in society. But you couldn't handle that. You had to destroy him. Mr. Richardson was already working as a parliamentary secretary for health infrastructure, mental health, and suicide prevention. Oh, really? Really? Suicide prevention? Interesting. How's that going, mate? How well have you been going in that role? Because if I'm not wrong, see, the majority of self deletions in this country are men on a quite regular basis and have been going up. So if I'm going to judge you on your current role, you're shit. Going forward, he will drop the health infrastructure role to focus on his new position. 3 other parliamentary secretaries in infrastructure delivery, education, and emergency services were also announced by the Premier. Yeah, I don't give a crap. I do not give a crap.
Well, I'm in Victoria, so I give a crap. So the Premier Jacinta Allen popped out a statement the other day on the 28th of May. So Tim Richardson's going to do that job, focus on the effects of the internet and social media. What? There was no domestic violence before the internet? And Redux, well, they've already done that research, so that's like 20 minutes to look it up, 10 minutes to print it out, and another 20 minutes binding it into a report. Anyway, Josh Bull will become Parliamentary Secretary for Infrastructure Delivery, taking in both transport and health infrastructure to support Minister for Transport Infrastructure Danny Pearson and Minister for Health Infrastructure Mary Ann Thomas as they work towards the newly created Victorian Infrastructure Delivery Authority. Which is this for those of you out of the state of Victoria. So the 4 main gigs are the level crossing removal project, the major road projects, Metro Tunnel, and Victorian Health Building Authority. Here's some trucks. Right, so Nina Taylor will become Parliamentary Secretary for Education, supporting Minister for Education Ben Carroll to deliver real cost of living support to Victorian families, deliver the biggest school building boom in Australia, and make sure every Victorian gets gets the best start in life with a fantastic education close to home, except for if they live in the country. So Sheena Watt will become the Parliamentary Secretary for Emergency Services. She will support Minister for Emergency Services, Jacqueline Sims, to make sure Victoria is prepared for natural disasters that happen with increasing frequency and assist communities as they respond to and recover from emergencies. So according to the Parliament of Victoria, a parliamentary secretary is a member who assists a minister with their portfolio responsibilities. So if we check out the federal government's page, we get a lot more detail. So parliamentary secretaries sit in the row of seats immediately behind the ministerial front bench. They address the House from the dispatch box when in charge of the business before the House on behalf of the minister, and from their places at other times. An assistant minister is technically a parliamentary secretary. And they may exercise the powers and perform the functions of the minister in procedures of the Senate, but they may not be asked or answer any questions. So no wonder he's smiling. Now, I've dragged this back out from the 2nd of May because it's got this number I couldn't remember in it. The federal government's $925 million package. I'm still weirded out by that bit. Younger men who believe they should know where their partners are at all times and they feel the community thinks that of them. I think when you're in a partnership, you do genuinely want to know where your partner is at all times because you're coordinating your activities together. And would it be better to say, oh, where's your partner? Oh, I don't know and I don't care? And this other bit about men who regularly use sexist jokes to put women down, etc., are going to be more likely to give themselves permission to be violent against their intimate partner. Okay, the guy who's going to be violent towards their intimate partner is all about control. Okay, it's his house, his car, his wife, his kids, and when they don't do what he says, then things start to spiral out of control. So it's like a mental health thing. Now, there are plenty of women out there that are violent towards their partners, but the thing is, men are stronger. That's why trans women beat them in sports. And another thing that concerns me is in this bit, in regards to the internet and social media, is that just another smoke and mirrors? Oh, we're coming to censor you. Not like we can't build something to get around that. But, with all the right training, maybe we can pump out some blokes like this guy in the red shirt.
How can a girl be a boy?
We're not answering that.
You're talking about concepts that have not progressed.
You're telling me that by letting a girl identify as a boy, you're saying we're helping them to be who they are. Yet you can't tell me what it means for a girl to be a boy.
Let them
What's
identify.
actually going on there?
It means for someone to be the person they are.
It's so much
The
more
person
broad
that they
than
actually are
But there's
inside.
such a thing as reality.
There's a thing as genetic, but that's one aspect of a person. That is one tiny aspect of a person, not the complete
it's
picture.
so broad. It's so
Not
broad,
their
and
experience.
We couldn't even speak
all.
on it because
So
there
is
is.
being a
Don't
woman
even
a
worry
feeling,
about it. Don't
for
worry about
example?
it. Don't talk.
Okay.
Don't talk. Okay.
Why can't he talk?
There is so much because I'm leaving, but there is so much more than what you're putting in one fucking box.
And that'll do. See you later. Bye.